You are now listening to the new Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time at bringdowntheband.com, and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the new Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You're now tuned in to the new Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. Entire crew is here, starting off with my man Lonegevity, rocking the Section Leaders t-shirt, exclusive joint. I see you. How are you, sir?
I am doing great, Michael.
Why do you do that, man? Why do you do that?
Why do I respond to you?
Like that?
Like what?
Never mind. Oh man, Jay Morris in the building. How are you, sir?
Doing well, blessed and highly vaccinated as always.
All right. To my immediate left, back in the saddle again, my man DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutations.
Good to see you as always.
Indeed.
Red August is in the building as well, punching buttons and
punching button. We got Joe Budden sitting in here.
Don't beat up Joe Budden, Red August.
Yeah, we holding him captive until he can try to get us those same deals he got.
I'm saying, man.
Or that he didn't get.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do
what?
that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't do that.
Let's go.
You know, they had some issues over there. But
We trying to pod.
yeah.
I'm here to pod today.
My man Red August definitely is in the building. We appreciate you also, brother, for doing a great job last week in J Diff's absence. So you definitely stepped in and next man up like sports. My boy stepped in there and did his thing. So we appreciate you for that, Red August. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We see y'all. Appreciate y'all as always. I don't think I missed anything else I wanted to say. Y'all want to go ahead and
Well,
jump
I'm
in?
doing pretty good. Thanks, Mike.
Yo, I don't know. Can they hear Red August giggling in the background? I don't know if the mic's
Sure they
strong enough
can.
to pick that up.
Yeah.
I really hate that.
If not, you've been sure to point it out.
Continuously. I hate when he does that.
Hate.
Hate.
Full of it.
Time hater.
Nah, man. I'm just saying, man. Y'all
Traveling back in time to hate on folks.
Hey, the player haters ball skit is one of my favorites ever, by the way.
We know.
Well, that
You
was
can
amazing.
relate.
I definitely can. The outtakes are great.
You based your whole life around it.
Don't do that. You know what though? I will say this. I rewatched Block Party the other day, and the vibe, like the young Kanye and Mos Def and Jill Scott and all them. That show was fire, man. How they put that together with the
I
band,
went to the
Central
movies to
State.
see that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't catch it in the theater, but he was just talking about Central State before we came on, and that was the band that was there. That made me think about that. But that show was fire. Yeah, I remember that. So fire.
Hey, let's go ahead and give Dave Chappelle his credit outside of comedy.
Okay.
Dave Chappelle champions a lot of this like hip hop. I won't say elite, but what's the word I'm looking for? The good stuff.
Yeah, it when there was a shininess to hip hop that was on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Chappelle during the Dave Chappelle show was putting Slum Village.
Yep.
He was definitely letting Mos Def and 𝗃 rock.
Yeah, pretty sure.
He was, he put, Common, who had come off of what a lot of people, deemed an unaccessible album with the Electric Circus, an album I still love,
Which turned out to be a dang good album.
and his next look after that was with Kanye and the Food, to the point where they even put the version that was on the Chappelle show on the album.
Yeah,
depending on where you bought the album.
Call Terry.
It was that was one thing that I look forward to. I mean, I love the sketches, love the comedy, but I was like, man, the musical, yes. And the thing is, if you didn't catch it when it came on, because of music clearances and whether or not there was a little piece of a sample somebody owns 17% of here. Like, if you bought the DVDs, all of the musical guests didn't make it over to the DVDs,
right. Yeah.
and I don't, and some of it, depending on where you stream it, I'm not even sure,
I'm not sure if it's all on YouTube. Is it any?
It may not. So unless you saw it when it was broadcast,
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the Chappelle show, right?
Yeah, but
Yes.
he had so
Dave
many
Chappelle
dope artists that
in
performed
general.
though.
Yeah, like even to this day,
I mean, he owns it now, right?
he
Yeah,
does,
he
but
does.
that still doesn't have to do with like
music
music
license.
clearances and licensing. Like,
But to his point though, he really do be putting on like
He champions the music stuff.
Yeah, I agree
I
with
can't
that.
say what I want to say, but you know what I mean.
no,
Mhm.
like those.
I mean, that's the time when I saw. I was like, wow, he's really put. Well, specifically, it was Mos and 𝗃.
Yep.
Yeah.
at the time.
He actually has a podcast with those two now.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
decent.
I'm here for that. I did not know that. Good looking out.
It's behind a paywall. I haven't gotten involved with it.
Okay.
They've released a couple snippets on YouTube.
Okay.
I just need that I need that album with Mad Lib, and I'll be.
Well, yeah, and speaking, the thing is, like, this is what's crazy about the music business. Just kind of like, remember the show New York Undercover?
Fire.
No,
And see, being honest,
He know it. No, don't do that. He knows that show.
no, I don't.
He wasn't outside yet.
yeah, you may not have been
You
outside.
sure?
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
Black guy.
That's not.
Why
very
you gonna do
specific.
him like that?
He last
be
week,
like
you know what he did
black
last
guy.
week.
Why you gonna do him like that?
He's a
though?
cop.
I mean, there
right,
was
so,
a black dude and a
No,
Puerto Rican
don't say
dude,
so.
and
Don't say so, because I
There's
know
a
what
white
you-
guy on there too.
Yeah.
And there was a
Never
woman.
mind.
So
Okay.
since we're talking in generalities,
Black guy and a cop. Family
Stop, man.
Matters.
Stop, man. I should just.
Okay, well, despite the
I
the
should've
setup
got
of
him
the show,
started.
which is explained very poorly by Mike,
Is this like the Bone Collector?
at the
Stop, man.
at the end there was always like a musical performance, and like throughout the show they always
Yeah.
played like music that was contemporary to what was going on at the time.
Mhm.
Like they might play a 𝗂𝗲𝗓𝗄𝗧 or Biggie Smalls song or whatever.
Yeah.
And because there was so much music throughout that's why you've never seen New York Undercover on DVD.
that's
Can't
crazy.
afford it.
The musical, like,
It's not
they,
even syndicated.
They would
Nope.
they would have to go in and like take the music out and put in like some fair use music, like
And it's not going to hit the same.
kind of
There's
like when
no
you
way.
watch Def Comedy Jam, like when they put the tapes out,
Yeah.
and like there'd be the time where like 𝐀𝐃𝐃𝐒 would be spinning at the end, and he might be playing like Time for Some Action or something. While
Yeah.
like they had to go in and put some other music in that had nothing to do with what actually happened if you watch the broadcast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if there's certain things. Just because, but they've done that for there's this show on MTV called Daria. Like they had to change all the
Yeah.
music
I remember that.
in that show.
Probably Beavis and Butthead too.
Yeah, because when they tried to bring Beavis and Butthead back,
I knew you.
because back in the day, I guess it was still the Wild Wild West. Like they could put any video on and kind of roast it. Like now, if there's a guy that owns 3% of the songwriting, he can be the one to say
calling.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
calling.
wanna see
I
that.
want my money.
Yeah, or he can just say no. Yeah, so
Now, New York Undercover lived in the same universe as what was that movie called?
Don't ask long.
King of New York.
Nah, with Lorenz Tate and Nia Long.
Oh, Love Jones.
Love Jones.
Yeah, Love Jones.
It was.
You
I
think
would say.
so?
Yeah, I think that was the same universe.
I always thought it was just. I always thought it lived. Well, technically, because it was the same people that put it together. It lived in the same universe as Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Ding,
Yep.
ding.
As which one? Love Jones or
No,
New York
Undercover.
Undercover.
Okay.
New York Undercover and Law and Order.
I can dig that.
Hey, the
We're in the same
vibe
universe.
at the end of New York Undercover was always dope. Candlelit somewhere.
At Natalie's, that was the club where they would always
Natalie's,
go
yeah.
to.
That was tough.
It looked
man.
like somewhere where Lorenz Tate would go do some poetry to get some snaps.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Like I love the movie Love Jones. They just put it on Netflix. That movie inspired more terrible poetry than I
man.
even care to talk about. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, if I write poetry, I'll meet somebody like Nia Long."
No, you
No,
won't.
your
No, you
poetry
won't.
is terrible, and you have no chance.
Long
at anybody
hates.
like
I
Nia
know
Long.
Long very well. He hates poetry.
You trying to battle me with sandals and capris on?
I ain't about to hear no
brother.
speech just because I want.
Breathe, my brother, breathe.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
Shout out to Fonte.
shout out to all poetry sets.
Yeah.
Most of which were terrible.
Man,
Poetry.
I know a handful of
cannot
poetries that
do
are
it.
dope though. Poets that are dope, but it's a
Poet,
handful.
I know a lot of dope poets. I just don't like it.
It's a certain vibe. Like it's a certain vibe to be able to go in there and really lock in and watch that. You have to be that type of person, in my opinion, to go
what
in
if
there. And
Tupac? What if Tupac took a U-turn and went over into the poetry realm? Because I know he was writing poetry. What if he
I
had
think he
ended
could've
up
done
No.
like kind of this dressing like Common after he met Erykah Badu,
No.
oh man,
reading poetry?
You know what?
I'm glad I don't live in that part of the multiverse where that happened.
wow.
Common's raps kind of sound like poetry. His newer raps from the last 10 years or so
See,
kind of sounds like he's
All right.
poetry rapping, like in between like poetry and rapping.
this is turning into something here,
He's
but
papping.
He's something.
I don't know.
I don't know what this is, but it's turning into something. But you're right. I talk about Common a lot with Nate Jeezy. That's one of my favorite rappers. One of his favorite rappers. So we had this conversation. I know, and I feel like, to your point, like the album that he dropped is so bad. I love Common. I can't even name the album. The last one he put out,
Love.
That's it.
That was a good record.
I didn't like that album, man.
Jay's always said that he enjoyed.
I remember you saying that,
it was
but
the
I didn't like that
before
record.
that I thought was terrible. I don't remember the name of that one. It was because I listened to that one time and I was I'm done.
I didn't really like the newest one. I thought it was.
Now the one that the shorter track list had some heat on it. I did like that one.
I'll give you it had a few, but overall it was too. And this is Common is one of my favorite. Like Water for Chocolate is still my favorite album.
Talk to him,
but. And I love Electric Circus.
I love Dreamer and Believer. I loved
Dreamer and Believer has some heat.
I loved
but his newer raps, I guess what I was saying is like he almost sounds like he's doing poetry when he's rapping. And I think that for me personally, because I hate poetry so much.
Yeah, I know you do.
That I hear it and I'm just like, nah, I'm cool.
See, Jay Moore, I'm the opposite. I think Black America Again was dope.
No, there's another one after Black,
So you got Nobody Smiling. That came after the Dreamer.
Yeah, I was cool on Nobody Smiling.
I'm cool on that one. Then came Black America Again, which I thought was dope.
Which was dope, yeah.
Let Love is where you lost me.
Let Love, that was
Let Love, yeah.
Yeah, that was Microsoft Common.
Yeah. Well played.
That was his new one though.
No,
I think the one that he put out last year.
There's another EP. It's called A Beautiful Revolution Part 1. It's got like maybe 8-9 records.
Yeah, that's the one with PJ. Yeah,
that's about
PJ
3 or
Morton.
No, not PJ Morton.
No.
But I said the same thing.
PJ Tucker.
Don't do that.
I might be wrong, but yeah, I just remember after being so disappointed with the previous Common record. I'll listen to Universal Mind Control before I listen to that.
Man,
don't bring that up.
After Finding Forever, everything is hit or miss for me.
That's me too.
Yeah.
After Finding Forever?
Yep.
I think you
for me it's halfway through Finding Forever, but yeah.
Halfway through Finding Forever?
No, I'll rock with that whole album.
Don't make me pull the track list up long.
I'm being too harsh, but I will say out of all the ones that are considered like Common's greatest albums, that's like the least one for me.
Okay, so
I liked it, but to me it doesn't.
It was a good album.
It's not his last. Like I like Electric Circus way.
You were one of the people that I remember this too. When Electric Circus came out, you were ahead of the curve on Electric Circus.
I thought it was way ahead of its time.
It just kills me how people say, "Oh, I couldn't get into Electric Circus," but they love the Love Below. It was on that same kind of wild experimental vibe.
I don't know about that because
it kind of is though.
I feel like,
and the thing is, Common was rapping the whole time.
Yeah.
That's the thing though. Like
Dre spit some of his
Dre rapped like
best bars on that.
Dre rapped like twice on what? The last joint, and
I don't even remember what he rapped on.
There was one more direct. He rapped like 3 times on that mug. The rest of it was just
on
singing.
Love Below.
Yeah, like
he rapped on every song.
I'm talking about rap. When I say rap, I'm talking about like he blacked out on the last record. Like Common's records were all rap songs.
Yeah,
Dre's was like rapping, singing,
but
guitar.
As far as the instrumentality of it,
the
way it flowed, type.
The way
some of my favorite Common records are off Electric.
Yeah, I remember vividly, man. Long was
and I always tell people if you saw the tour, the Electric Circus tour,
right?
I didn't see it.
I mean that was I loved that show.
I will say though, I did go back to it recently in the last few years, and it didn't hold up quite as well as I thought it did.
Electric Circus,
right? But the records that I did like, I still like.
Hey, the production on there though, even when I go back now, I'm like. Yeah,
they're the high points of that album really high.
Yeah. I'm with that. So
certain things you need to be in a certain environment to experience. Like even some tracks that I've heard that I didn't actually like, and then I may have been in a strip club and heard it there, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
No, I mean there. Yeah, sometimes time and place. Time
and place. Yeah. All right, so let's see. I didn't know that was gonna. It's a good convo, but I didn't know that went over that way.
Well, that's because this show is organic and we are
preach to him, man.
We are gluten free.
Talk to him, man.
No, I like all the gluten.
Long, what you want? Long, you want to do?
I'll be like, do y'all got some extra gluten bread?
Let me get some extra gluten on my sandwich, please.
We can just go through.
You want to go through them?
Yeah, just
all right.
From the top. You might as well. Talk about the comment that was talk about that afterwards.
All right, so NBA 2K. Let's see, which has Candace Parker on the. What did I?
No,
what did I
we'll
miss?
come back to that. We will come back to that.
Oh, here y'all go, man. I'm scared now. All right, so NBA 2K22, with Candace Parker's on the cover, which is dope to me.
Okay.
They have the covers.
They have an option where you can be a fashion designer or a rapper in the game.
From the game?
Yes, there's a hip hop option and a fashion design or whatever option.
They need to get the gameplay of just the basketball right.
You can have a hip. He's stupid. You can have a hip hop career though on there, and
why?
Didn't you say it was like a hobby or something?
They look at it. They treat
as one of the players, or could just this is a separate
just gonna be
mode.
something that you do on the side. Like, yeah, I'm hooping. I'm built my.
So you're a player with no focus.
Yeah, like, and I'm looking at it like I don't know how I necessarily feel about it, because it's like, to me it kind of makes hip hop seem like
a side hustle.
Exactly. Like, you see Terry's reaction when he was like in a basketball game. Like, that's how it was when I saw it. So what do y'all think about that, man? Them putting like hip hop as kind of like a hobby in a 2K game.
Look,
here you go.
No, why I gotta be all that?
Just don't say Ice-T, man.
No, first of all, shout out to Ice-T. But I mean, okay, I take that. I was about to say something, but I thought about anybody who's rapping right now in the league, and it's Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard is an all-star. He is a franchise player, and his raps aren't terrible. So maybe, okay, I can see this, because at first I was like, oh, somebody who's just okay at basketball, he's gonna try to get his rapping on. It just seemed like something corny to me. Anytime you try to integrate a certain level of hip hop into anything this mass market and this corporate as the NBA 2K games, I'm like, okay, how are they going to mess this up? Right. That end, as somebody who's an actual gamer, I need them to get the core gameplay of NBA 2K back on point before they start adding all this other stuff to where you can be a fashion designer.
Would you have a
or
career
go to the studio? I have Game Pass, so I'm not going to pay for it anyway. But at the same time,
okay, excuse me.
But at the same time, I'm like, this has so much potential to be corny. I like the fact that, like, they, I remember one year it was like the story was by Spike Lee, and I thought that was cool. And then one day it was like executive produced by Jay-Z, and that was basically just the playlist that would play during any given part of the game. So I guess there's a decent track record, but I think this is them biting off way more than they can chew. Guys, put the weed in the bag first. Make a good basketball video game and get back on the rails with that. And then, okay, then maybe you can make this DLC or something. Don't make this into something to where you're just going to potentially take resources away from you actually making a good basketball game.
Well, you sound like a gamer. Jay Diff, talk to me, man. Like you had an initial reaction.
Well, I just think it's extra at the end of the day to involve all that in a basketball game. It's cool to kind of intertwine things, because you can't just pinpoint and say, okay, if you play basketball then you can't rap, or you can't be a fashion designer, or you can't do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, like he said, it's corny to involve a lot of that stuff in this video game. It's like, can we just play basketball?
Yeah.
And call it a day? I mean, even in story mode, can it just be somebody's career from high school on up to college and making it to an NBA? It's a basketball game. That's all I really want to see. I don't want to see some you got to add this flashy fashion designer into it as well. What was that?
I do not know.
Shouts to DJ BK for hosting us.
Oh,
that's what's up.
Appreciate it.
That's
cool.
up.
But no, it's just too extra, and it's like people are like, hip hop is just a grab at this point. Like,
Thank you.
let's grab some hip hop or some hip hop influenced things to kind of give it an edge or appeal to more people. Like, I don't know if y'all seen the audience of Rolling Loud. It was stupid crazy.
Yeah, I saw it.
But so I'm watching the crowd while what's his name, Kodak Black is performing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And when you look at the people reciting his lyrics, it's like, you know good and well you don't live the same life that Kodak Black lived.
Not even close.
So I just have a problem with trying to include hip hop to make everything cool in every aspect of life. Let's just, you know what I'm saying? Let's let a basketball game exist as a basketball game without adding all the extra bells and whistles to it. That's all I'm trying to say.
I think that's well played. You got any thoughts?
Both points that Jay and Jay both made, Terry and Jay Moore, are valid. I mean, I like NBA 2K enough. You know, like I play it. You know, my player is level 95, Michael.
Don't get me started on that.
Tell him about the games, Mike.
You know,
tell him about the gun line.
We're on route for a championship this year.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But no,
super serum.
But there are things about the game. I feel like, you know, focus on the game. You know, like focus on the game. We don't need to add a side hustle of being a hip hop artist. And in a world where it's like, we kind of touched on this a little bit when we talked about in the pre-show, but like, there's already so much valuing of like artistry in general.
Yeah.
Do we really need to do it even further to be like, well, anybody can pick this up as a hobby?
I'm telling you, that's how it's coming. That's how it comes off.
It's not that easy. It's not easy to have a music career. It's one of the hardest careers you could even try to have.
Right.
Period.
Maybe it used to be.
No, it's it's still really hard. It's just everybody keeps trying.
People that make it literally hit the lottery.
Yeah, that's
pretty much. I mean, even the game started rapping after he got shot.
Yeah,
he had a record deal within a year.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen for people.
No, it doesn't.
And I'm not taking anything away from the game. His situation is unique, but he wasn't out there digging in the trenches, putting in work like that.
No,
he hit the lottery,
and that's what most people that hit that point, that's what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, just listen to so much music. How many rappers do we know that are ridiculously talented that actually do a lot of great work that can't pay their
not through rapping,
not through rapping, not through music.
They still have to, do whatever it is their day job is to make sure that they can pay the bills. Like they don't make enough.
We're
money
literally sitting at a table full of people that do hip hop.
Yeah.
That could be getting paid, making a living off it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And even further, like any other side of basketball and these, there's 450 people in the world that play in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like something like that. But like, if you want to be an engineer, you can go to school in 4 years, you can be an engineer.
Yeah.
You can't put 4 years worth of, expertise into rapping and then be like, hey, have a career.
Yeah, where's my spot? I'm Def Jam, I'm here.
Yeah, you can go to the New Rock Nation school for music, and that's still not going to guarantee that you get a record deal or out here popular and
ain't it.
Thriving from your music.
Like he said with the lottery, it's like, if you think about it, I equate that to the million views kids. Like, however they get there, who knows? People pay for views or whatever, but when you get that 1.5 million view rapper that's in his bedroom, the next thing you know, he's sitting at, I don't know, labels dang, they don't even exist anymore, but he's sitting in front of an executive.
That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but it's like whatever he did went viral enough so that somebody paid attention enough to be like, yeah, I don't really know what he's talking about. I don't know what's going on, but they like it. Let's bring him in.
Yep.
Simple as that.
But it's all for the moment. When you sit back and think about the artists that are truly thriving, they didn't have a viral moment. Like they literally grinded from the bottom and have stayed here consistently since then.
No,
there was no viral moment that went into that.
That's a good point.
The thing is, you can look at, say when you go back and look at those freshman covers, there's already somebody on there be like, man, what happened to that person?
Yep.
More than one.
I mean, yeah, more than one.
Yeah, more than
even
one.
like, when you go back and look at, like, I don't even know if like they still print the Source or XXL like as magazines that you could actually buy from the store. But like when you could, like, because I used to keep like all these old magazines around. And
I still got a bunch. I need to get rid of them.
But go back and look at a magazine from 2010. And you'll be thumbing through that entire magazine and be like, wow, none of these people are famous yet, or very famous anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't really take that long for you to, sometimes you start from here, you wind up making it to the top or what you think is the top.
Yeah.
And then,
bottom out.
Look, okay, better example. Because magazines, print is dead.
That's the Egon.
When you
I see what you did.
When you watch award shows, like you watch the BET Awards, pull up the BET Award shows from 5 years ago. Most of those people wouldn't even be invited to the BET Awards to sit in the back row now. It just happens that fast.
That's tough.
And that's 5 years. Like, I mean, where's August Alsina now?
Man.
Nothing
Where
against
is
that dude.
Saigon? And Saigon was actually dope.
Yeah.
But when you talk about being on covers of magazines and featured, Saigon was somebody that people was looking forward to hearing from.
He had a whole album produced by Just Blaze.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who gets that? Like, it's just crazy, man.
We all get money.
Features with Jay-Z and Trey Songz and the whole. Yeah, look,
he had the blueprint.
The blueprint.
But it's just that, like, the thing is, it used to be I had a theory where hip hop and your lifespan, it's like high school. You got 4 good years.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty much done. It's going to hopefully you've made enough good music to where when the nostalgia comes around in another 10 years, you'll be good.
Yeah.
Or you legitimately built yourself, like built like infrastructure around what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know who's a good example when you want to look at freshman class lists? You see certain people is Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah. Well, that cover that Freddie Gibbs
that was one of the best ones
had
to me.
Nipsey Hussle.
Man, that was a tough cover.
It had
was on that.
Pull it up.
TDE. What's his name?
We just talking about
not Isaiah Rashad. J-Rock. No, J-Rock was before everybody. It might have been Isaiah Rashad.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
You got it.
But yeah, that cover was popping.
J. Cole.
Yeah, J. Cole.
But then there's somebody named Pill.
I remember Pill.
But Freddie Gibbs, Big Sean, Wiz Khalifa.
Him and LEP.
Okay, OJ the Juice Man. I guess we can't really,
Hey.
J-Rock, Fayshawn.
J-Rock, that's what I was looking for.
And Donis. I remember
them,
I guess it was J-Rock.
I remember Fashawn.
Yeah, I remember them really trying to push Donis at one point.
Yeah. Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah. That was actually a solid showing for a XXL cover.
And if you think about it, you fast forward to now, Freddie Gibbs coming off a Grammy nomination with The Alchemist. Still out here with good product, consistent music.
Guess who was never on a XXL freshman cover?
Who was Drake?
Tyler, the Creator.
That's tough.
Wow. Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, but
his whole crew could have been on there.
Yeah, but they missed Drake and Nicki.
Yeah, I think a couple people turned it down though.
Yeah, I can
see
that.
I could see Drake having to turn it down because he was bubbling though. Like
this is a crazy list.
Yeah.
Because this was 2010.
Yeah.
That's one of the best ones, I think.
That's the heart of the blog era, too.
Mm-hmm.
And Donis is on here, and Donis had a little bit of a run, too.
Yeah.
But just think, J. Cole just put out an album that had everybody open.
Facts.
Big Sean has had an incredible run.
Big Sean re-released his debut album.
You know,
Nipsey, Wiz was huge.
Yeah.
J-Rock. And then Pill. I mean, I really heard a lot from Pill.
Pill had some mixtapes that was cold, but nothing... it's like nobody picked him up from a major standpoint.
You had a Pill feature before.
I sure did. I had a Pill. That's too many P's, man. I had a Pill feature before Pill was
popping P's.
Was that 2008?
Yeah, him and LEP, Bogus Boy. Yeah, man.
Flex those credits a little bit, you know.
We old out here. We old out here. All right.
But note to the kids: don't peak in high school.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Keep it moving.
Because you know what? If you're in high school right now. And you think, man, this is terrible. Trust me. I had to put this out as a little bit of encouragement last year for the kids who weren't going to prom.
Yeah.
And I posted a picture from my prom, and I was like, this isn't even top 10 of the best things that happened to me in 1995. That's how old I am. I went to prom in 1995.
Yeah.
But like, I know you're upset that you missed your prom, but this ain't gonna be it for you.
This ain't the end all.
This isn't it. This,
not even close.
And you don't want to be that guy that comes to the 10-year reunion. It's like, hey guys, remember the big game? And it's like, no, we've moved on.
Yeah.
Shout out to Al Bundy.
Yeah.
Still talking about them 4 touchdowns you threw a poke high. No.
Yeah. We don't remember those, brother.
Yeah.
And the uncle on Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico.
And you know what? This is the weirdest thing. Like I should have picked this up. You realize Uncle Rico was the same actor who played Sean on Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
I mean, I found that out like maybe about 4 years ago, and I was like,
I knew it immediately. I was like, wow, Sean came up.
Yeah, Sean actually was. They casted him perfect for Martin. Like that worked with him at the radio station.
They casted him perfect for
Uncle Rico.
Napoleon Dynamite too. He threw that steak across the field.
He was like, he thought just somehow these VHS tapes was going to get out there. That's how a lot of these rappers are when they just post links to their SoundCloud on people's comment page
Or their Reverb
do that,
Nation.
Don't do
you
that.
hate when somebody tells you about their Reverb Nation?
I don't even know what that is. See?
Hey, yo, man, I'm trending on Reverb Nation in 2013.
Yeah, but okay.
Okay.
And I think I was 95th.
That was
on the
dope back
charts.
then.
I didn't know anybody that was before me
Yeah.
in the city of Indianapolis.
yeah.
I was like, who are these people? I think like 2 people.
Is SoundClick
Reverb
still a
Nation
thing?
is the most
I can tell
inaccurate
you.
depiction of music ever.
I mean, I just had my music on there just to have it on there.
Right.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But I didn't like check it or anything.
I remember Reverb. It was a time.
Nobody
like-
was getting
you know
deals
what it
off
was like?
Reverb Nation.
It was like SoundClick.
Yeah.
That's where I found out about Saigon, actually.
Oh, okay.
Hey, they gave Saigon had all the education you need that year, in order to be who he was. Everything was set. Why it didn't pick up, I don't know. On the
I mean, the
labels.
thing is, it was a whole thing because he was on like Atlantic or something, and they kept trying to like. And I like the song he had with Trey Songz. I think it was all called like "Pain in My Life." But they were
laced.
but you know, because he had the record with Ghostface, and it was in a pretty big movie.
Yeah.
I think Mark Ronson was involved with it. And then he also wound up being on Entourage. So he had a lot of good looks. Yeah.
I'm mad at
And
that.
the album, The Greatest Story Never Told, it was a record that I loved.
Facts.
You know, he had some incredible music on there. Shout out to Saigon. Like,
Keep it moving.
yeah, it is what it is.
All right, let's go. Let's see.
Got next. What we got next?
Next,
Do
we
wanna
have
get to the sponsors.
I don't. We've been talking so much, I done lost track of time.
I think we're about halfway.
about halfway.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
You want to do them?
We can do
Yeah,
sponsors.
let's do sponsors.
Run the sponsors. And then we'll come back to one.
We'd like to thank our partners for the New Old Heads podcast. No Bad Ideas Clothing Company, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, Sun King Brewery, and the hub for all things New Old Heads, bringingdowntheband.com. Remember, once you type Bringing Down the Band in the search bar on YouTube and the page populates, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And as always, we thank you for your support. Now back to the show. Hey, man.
All right.
Chat, we appreciate you.
And they appreciate
y'all.
you.
Yeah, we appreciate the chat. Appreciate y'all that share the
Shout
show
out
as
to-
well. You know,
Tippy tie.
we love everybody. So let's go ahead and keep on moving with these topics, man. So did you guys? Well, I think Terry was the only one that said he watched the entire thing for Kanye. You watched the whole joint. You watched that?
Did we miss the other one?
Oh, I'm sorry, my mistake. We're gonna do Royce. I apologize.
Yeah.
Royce.
Let's talk Royce and Lupe. Did everybody hear both records?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah, I saw
I'm
the back
sorry.
and forth.
I did not.
Don't even
hear
worry about it. Don't even worry about. Yeah, don't even worry
Get
about
other
that.
things going. Yeah,
don't even
it's
worry
all
about
good.
that.
It's all good.
But Lupe,
It was 2 really good diss tracks.
yeah. But Lupe dropped a diss track, and I think the artwork was Steve Jobs.
It wasn't artwork. He just found a random picture.
Oh, it was a random picture. Okay, cool. I gave him too many P's. Sorry. And it was called Steve Jobs SLR 3.5 or something like that, I believe was the name. And then Royce's was called Silence of the Lambda. And I think here's my thing.
Dang, it was damn near 7 minutes long.
And I'm talking about of heat, both of them. But my thing,
Wow.
But here's my thing. I don't think Royce took it like Lupe did, because Royce covered everybody.
It was like
it was
the
a
spectrum.
whole spectrum.
Yeah.
Lupe talked about Royce for 7+ minutes straight. And Royce, to me, in my personal opinion, his was more enjoyable because the lyrics were just so great.
Let's
The
get
beat
one
was
thing
dope.
clear though about Lupe, just so the people know.
Okay.
And I haven't even listened to this verse.
Yeah,
Lupe is a different type of artist.
agreed.
Lupe can literally give you a college dissertation over hip hop
Yeah.
No argument for being.
and break it down, explain it, regurgitate, and give it back to you again. But I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
But what you said is right on point. It actually goes in hand with what he actually put out. But Royce is more enjoyable. I would go back and listen to Royce's more than I would Lupe's. Maybe it was the production on Lupe's. Plus Lupe's verse was more talkative. Like he wasn't really in a pocket. But everything he said, I still would say Lupe won the first round because of how potent the stuff that he was saying was. Like I'd go back and listen to Royce's more, but everything Lupe got him for like 7 minutes straight, strictly about him. And that was just my take. What did you think, Lone, when you heard it? Like when you heard both of them?
So apparently Royce's was actually a reply to like freestyling for like 9 minutes about him previously or something. Okay. I don't know. And they used to, and they had been going back and forth for a while. I've been kind of following their little
Twitter.
It was like a podcast situation.
Yeah,
right?
they were doing a podcast together, or maybe they still are. I don't know. But there was like a 3.5 hour long interview that Royce did with Young Guru, or not even an interview. They were just having a conversation. It was dope. I actually put it on Bringing Down the Band, so check it out. But
I see what you did there.
Excuse me. But it's and at the end of it, they brought Lupe on into the call because Loaded Lux and Murder Mook, I think, and them were gassing up, and Mickey Factor talking about them battling in a league. Lupe's like, I don't want to battle. And then Lupe said some kind of out of pocket stuff, and Royce called him on it directly. And then Royce came back. He was like, well, fine, then rap, and then he hung up, and then Royce released the record.
And these are two guys that have a podcast together, which is crazy.
Yeah. So that's just the people that don't know where it came from. Mm-hmm. But Royce dropped, like you said, it was like a song, and it was like a 7-minute song addressing a whole bunch of stuff, and
with potent bars too.
I thought it was dope. I thought Royce was a lot more polished.
Yep.
And so because of that, it was kind of hard to. I feel like because Lupe's seemed like he just wrote it and it was just out there and it wasn't overly produced.
Wasn't mixed at all.
It just has to feel like we're in an era where everything feels like it's being sold to us, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Lupe's didn't feel like it was being sold to us. Royce's was kind of packaged that way. But I still like Royce's just as much as Lupe's, if not more. So
I think that's where I'm at with it.
It's hard for me to like pick. I know we've said this on the show before. It's like, who won? Well, hip hop won.
Yeah.
Like
that's true too.
Like I don't think either party won. Like
I'm still gonna say Lupe though, man, just because it's pretty potent, man.
I'm seeing comments on because I shared both the songs together.
Yeah.
I'm seeing comments that people are saying that Lupe washed Royce.
I don't know about that.
And I'm like,
I ain't gonna
people be using the wash word very loosely.
I don't know about that.
Y'all claim to be hip hop fans, and y'all saying Royce got washed.
This is nowhere near a wash at all. So I'm cool on that. What you think, Jay Moore?
What
you give me one?
No, you're good.
All right.
This is the thing. Because at first I seen because I was listening to their conversations together, and I felt like, okay, this is friendly, and like these guys have a level of mutual respect as far as artistry is concerned.
Yeah. And
then I just feel like, you can start talking about the wrong thing with somebody that you may have a certain level of respect for.
Yeah.
Whether they always say when you go into a bar, don't talk about politics or religion. And, and now like, don't talk about, COVID-19, or in the vaccine, like because you're going to get something that maybe you don't have enough, you're not ready for follow-up questions.
Right. With the right person.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think maybe it went from something to where maybe it went from like, hey, we're just chilling, we're just talking, to where somebody got offended for real. And now we're here in this place to where these dudes are who I don't know if I've ever seen Lupe and or Royce 5'9" in the same like even section with each other.
I think Lupe kind of mentioned that.
Yeah, I don't think these guys have ever, and that happens in hip hop where people have, whole relationships and have worked together and done things and collaborated and never share the same space. But and sometimes that's what it can be very complicated to talk to somebody and you can't look them like directly in the face, because you don't know if they might have said something offhand and it might have not been received in the way it was meant to be received. Because I'm like, when it got to them finally making records, I'm like, this sounds like real beef to me. This doesn't sound like this doesn't sound like any jokey joke stuff.
Right. Especially not on Lupe part.
No.
Apparently Mickey Fax dropped a record too.
Did he?
I missed that one.
He gets talking about like,
I heard it was good.
If you're a tough guy, why aren't you why aren't you doing why is Detroit still the way it is? I was like, yo, that was kind of.
Hey, he played him about basically he was trolling him about being
a nerd, and the back and forth, like if you're friends with somebody, like you have a certain rapport, okay, yeah, you can call somebody a nerd, but like if especially in certain, because don't get the game messed up, Lupe is still from. Is he from the south side or the west side of Chicago?
West side.
Yeah, if you're from the west side of Chicago, and you can't call nobody a nerd or some kind of goofy, like those are fighting words.
I mean, he was talking about like he was dissing him about his lack of responsibility, or if you want to put it that way, about the city of Detroit. It's like you neglected Detroit. Like, what's going on? Like, he was really like some of that stuff was cutting. To your point, cutting a little deep just to be playing around.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how if there's any more, if they're going to continue to go.
Mickey better calm down.
Mickey better calm down.
Yeah, why is Mickey jumping in that?
I missed that part.
He's on one of those calls with them, where Royce was kind of going at him about his career and things that he had done or had not done, and they kind of had a little spat on the call.
Royce is very quick to, like, if you say something out of pocket with Royce, and it goes like against like somebody's character, he's very quick to say like, "Why are you doing it this way?"
Yeah.
And I like that about Roy. And so it was the same thing with Lupe. It was more so like the whole thing about the battle and all this stuff. Lupe got on there and started talking kind of reckless. And Royce was like, I didn't even call you. I wasn't even talking to you about this.
He did talk reckless.
He was like, they brought this up.
Yeah.
He was like, who are you talking to?
Yep.
And he addressed that specifically. And I think that may be kind of entanglement that Mickey was in with all that was why he got brought up. First place.
I'll tell you what though.
He's like in the middle of it.
I'll tell you what. Shout out to Jeezy.
I tell you what. I'd love to hear a focused 5 or 6 minutes strictly on Lupe from Royce. Now that could get ugly if he chooses to go that route. The same way the Lupe went. Like if he really got in his bag, like
you made a good point though. It was two different types of
oh yeah.
So Lupe's was more direct. Royce's was more like just kind of.
Yeah. Beat was better too on Royce's joint. So
I have to check it out.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to hear what you say, Terry. Once you hear them joints, because be clear, there is no washing here, and both of them are heat. It's just heat in different ways, is the way I would say it. But I'm still gonna go. If we have to make a choice, I'm gonna go Lupe first.
Chicago, Detroit, y'all stay cool.
Yeah, stay cool, man. Be cool.
Midwest stand up.
Yeah, we don't want none of that foolishness. All right. Yeah, we got time to do this one. Get this Kanye in. So, now, Terry, you said that you got a chance to watch the Donda Experience listening session at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Kanye, I guess, ran through some, I don't know if they were necessarily rough tracks or, 80% done or whatever. A lot of people were telling me, if you want to listen to it like you normally do, just wait till it comes out because you could only hear so much. And I also heard that Hov's verse was trash from a credible source. Shout out to my dude Jesse.
Hold on.
He said his verse was trash.
Yeah, I heard. I did hear. That's the one part I was actually interested in.
Yeah, he said
trash is hyperbole.
Well, I trust his judgment. Maybe I don't want to misquote him, but he was like, "Man,
I'll just have to wait till it drops."
Yeah, we'll just have to say he said the verse wasn't it. We'll just say that verse wasn't it from Hov.
Well.
So, but since you watched it, Terry, I'll come to you first because to me it looked like somebody just getting their ego stroked in a big old crowd, listening to their own music and
with $40 hot dogs.
Yeah, serving $65 lemon heads. That's what I saw. You know what I'm talking about? So maybe I could be wrong, but from what I saw in the clips, he just had a lot of people come out and make him feel good with a stocking cap on his head. So that's what I saw. What you think, man? How'd it go?
It was, to be honest with you, I need to listen. In order for me to actually grasp this album and this project, I need to listen to it the way it needs to be listened to, and that's not watching Kanye walk across the floor of Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Thank you.
But You are correct. It may have been something for him to stroke his ego a little bit, but in the same token, and I say this because this is kind of the same stuff that LeBron gets. He gets flack for. People rushed out and sold this event out.
I'm talking about out. From
they
what I
sold
saw
it out.
It was sold out before I even heard about it.
Yeah. So with that being said, he sold out a listening party and then decided to kind of, well, I'm going to tuck it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Him stroking his ego per se, or getting off endorphins from this is not his problem, because the people are giving him that energy.
True.
You know what I'm saying? He could have put this out for a listening party, and there could have still been tickets floating around, but people rushed out and bought these tickets. Go listen to this album.
Yeah.
Regardless if you like it or not. And that's why I will always champion Kanye a winner in that aspect, because it doesn't matter what he does it in a grand display, and he gets it out the way he wants to get it out, and people support it whether they hate it or love it. They're going to support it at the end of the day.
I mean, when you're polarizing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, if you think about it on face value, it's brilliant. He knew that the tickets was going to sell out if he came to a stadium rocking new merch and saying, I'm about to play my album. He knew that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The shoes was fire too. I don't know about the jacket, but I do like the shoes.
Okay.
But I'm a Yeezy fan.
Okay.
Y'all know that.
I'm
the champion Yeezy fan. It's cool.
I'm gonna keep it a buck though.
That's the voice we missed last week.
Yes, we definitely did.
It was just very anti-Kanye.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I'm gonna keep it a buck. Terry has shown me a couple low top Yeezys that was fire. We went through a couple of them, and the boy got an eye when it comes to that to them shoes.
You're not talking the ones that look like
Now I don't know about them. The ones like
Crocs,
waffles.
The ones that look like Crocs.
I'll rock those
from the Halo universe.
I'll rock those.
I'm cool on
I'll rock
Crocs.
those on the beach some damn where. But back to the music aspect of it.
Yeah.
I thought the project sounded okay. It wasn't terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't trash. It wasn't nothing that I'm running to the mountaintop screaming, this is classic Kanye. But Kanye probably feels the same way. That's the reason why it's not released yet on any streaming service. The J verse, I'm actually happy to hear that him and Jay are working together.
That part right there is dope.
Yeah, because
I agree.
That's the type of energy I need to see. Being both a Kanye West and a Jay-Z fan. If I can get a Watch the Throne Part 2, I am content. I'll tell you that much, because Jay-Z, he's not going to let Kanye just Kanye this the album.
There we go.
He's going to make sure that it's listenable.
Yeah,
all the way around. He already did that with R. Kelly and wasn't even able to tour with it. So I think he learned his lesson on that. And Jay is at a point in his career where he's not releasing anything unless it's gonna stand on something. So
agreed.
I hope it's better than Watch the Throne.
Watch the Throne 1 was good to me.
I thought it had moments. I would be lying if I said it was trash. It's not.
It's definitely not trash. It's by far not trash.
It's not trash, but it has some moments. But I thought out the gate, I thought it was better than it was, and that might have been me being excited about them being together. Out the gate, I thought it was crazy, but as I continued to listen to it, it didn't age with me like I thought it would. You know what I'm saying?
We talked about that nostalgia piece, and I probably listened to Watch the Throne about a month ago. During a workout, and I was like, I like this, because I wasn't blown away. I wasn't, there were songs I liked off of it, and of course there were records that I played in the club,
for sure.
But I was like, okay, there's a couple songs where I wasn't checking for then, that I enjoy now, So it's just once again subjective, and when we talk about anytime that you reminisce over something, and but
back to the stocking cap though.
Look, this is him. Look, And I was kind of joking, and I kind of wasn't. I said, "Look, for all
last one, it's funny.
For all of
don't do that, man.
Kanye and his, in his new walk, I still want to respect that, that part of it. I just,
respect.
I just feel like sometimes, just the goofy stuff that he does is breaking at least 2 commandments just off tops every time he comes out. Like,
Here you go, man.
Here we go with the
This ain't the first time Kanye wore a mask though.
Yeah, but he liked to get with that he's having a real problem with that as far as the commandment with the false idol. He's having trouble with that because that's a lot of what his imagery is about.
What you're doing.
But I'm gonna leave that be.
I see what you're doing
because maybe I'm just not. I don't understand it. You know who else I don't understand? Who is Justin LeBoy? Am I supposed to care about who he is and what he has to say?
No, but let's get back to this.
Yeah, back to the stocking cap, brother.
No, you know what? I liked pieces that I heard. I don't think the Jay-Z part is his verse is trash.
Okay.
Once again, none of this is mixed and mastered and ready to go.
Okay.
But we talked about how
Jay literally recorded that verse 4 hours before that show happened.
This is why I don't want to hear it until it's time to hear.
Apparently people were recording verses in the locker room. That's why he came out 2 hours late.
Did they have $65 limit heads?
I sure hope not.
Okay.
Boston baked beans though.
Okay.
And the thing is, I have to put aside a lot of things so I don't just hate on Kanye's music. I have to. I can't think about what he said about Harriet Tubman and slavery being a choice. I have to try to separate the art from the artist.
I'm not going to.
But it's very hard for me because one of the things that bothered me most, and we don't talk about it, or maybe we did talk about it, where he was talking about how Donald Trump is like his dad. And Kanye West's dad is still alive.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah,
I wasn't with that. That was stupid.
So, I hear pieces of it and I was like, okay, I can vibe with this. But I just if we waiting for that old Kanye to come back, it's not coming back.
That ship is sailed.
I'm still
cool.
the little clips, the music is cool. The clips I'm hearing as far as lyrics, he still got a ways to go.
But what I'm hearing,
that's gone. Even on Life of Pablo, and I say this all the time, Father Stretch My Hands.
Oh my God.
The production on that song is some of the best I've ever heard in my life.
With
Kanye wackest, killed it
with the bleaching.
Come on, man.
That's one of the
that song could have meant so much more.
That could have been yeah.
That's one of the worst first 4 bars over a great beat that I've ever heard in my life.
Like that
beat is crazy.
I was like,
the way it started, everything about that
else?
song gives me chills.
Yeah.
Except for what Kanye has to say on it. It's like, wow, dude.
But I'm looking at it this way, man. Because we've had this conversation in the past before. People that listen to us know. We've talked about artists taking them as a whole or just leaving certain stuff out and then just listening to the music, or do we encompass everything? We've talked about that before.
Kanye's made it so hard.
He's got a circle of yes men.
100%, yeah.
People are like, yeah, go ahead and put out the Confederate flag merch. That's a good idea with your name under it.
Yeah, do that. But my thing is, I just don't want to listen to it without it being ready. That's my thing, because it's going to change my judgment on it. I'd rather just wait, and then I'm going to really listen. I've heard the production is dope.
He's going to change that
production is fire.
That's how things move now.
Well, we'll see. Lone, you got any thoughts, man? You probably like me. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
I don't really want to have an opinion until I can actually hear it.
Right.
And honestly, I don't even care about my own opinion on it. So, it's just what it is.
Yeah, I watched it solely based on being a Kanye fan.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that.
And I can get that. It's just
anybody mad at that.
It's not like a lot of the stuff that Jay talks about. I don't want to support Kanye. I don't want to. He hasn't apologized.
Yeah. He didn't. He is. He's still.
If he's still that same person, then
he fell back on the Trump stuff. He did say something.
Yeah, after he lost.
No, it was before that. It was before that.
But there's so much of it.
It's beyond.
There's certain stuff that's just kind of I don't know. If Trump came out tomorrow and said, I'm sorry about one thing. Would you all automatically be like, oh, okay, well, cool. It's so I'm just not with it. If he puts out music, I will probably hear it somehow, because everybody's going to share it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would rather wait till it drops.
I've consistently said on this show and in conversation on whatever platform, whatever, up until my Dark Twisted Fantasy, that run is it's almost excellence, man. When you go from College Dropout all the way up into that, it's hard. You'd be hard pressed to find an artist that can. I'll just say it's not going to be easy to top that run leading up to that album. Right. And I stand on that.
It's one of the best runs ever.
That's what I'm saying. I stand on that.
Nobody can take that away.
But I'm to the point now where it's I know in my mind, it'll never be that, his music will never be that good. To me, it's not going to hit that. It's not going to hit the same. Maybe I'm in a different time in my life. That's part of it too. Because
the problem
some of
with
that stuff
is,
came out, I was in college, but I just don't think he'll reach that level.
He won't.
Terry, in my opinion.
The problem with that is he's so far gone as far as that is concerned. As far as having to even be that that hungry individual.
Okay.
That will never surface again, unfortunately.
Okay.
And we have to kind of live with that. Like, I've actually found a lot of with what I've been dealing with here lately.
Yeah.
Listening to like old Kanye West and stuff like that actually makes me feel better. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
It's like me leaning towards the old Kanye and just hoping that a glimmer of hope is gonna come up with the new one. It's kind of, I mean, it's almost shallow or selfish within myself to want him to be that same Kanye, because unfortunately he's been through a lot of life events that he probably can't return to that.
Yeah.
But I can live with the fact that the stuff that I really love, I'm still rocking with, and hopefully he can just give us some decent stuff that people can rock with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like, to your point, it's like one thing that we like about artists, or we talk about with our favorite artists or people that we admire, is the evolution of the artist. Like, prime example, my favorite group of all time is Outkast. We know that. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
They are the prime example to me of consistently knocking it out the park with dope evolution. Like, if you listen to those albums, they grow. The production grows, everything grows, and it sounds different and it evolves.
They only evolved for 10 years and they didn't put anything out anymore. Kanye's been around for decades.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
but I'm just using them as an
Dre's
example.
not putting anything out right now.
He's not.
Yeah, I mean, Big
Boy
and Sleepy Brown still putting out records.
Big Boy still put out dope projects,
but
though.
it's not that same energy.
No.
Exactly.
No, it's not Outkast.
That's what I'm saying. That's like, even Big Boy, when he started putting out his solo records, that was an evolution from what they were as Outkast, right? So, I mean, it's a part of it. You'll never get Southern Playalistic or AC Aliens back. We know that, because it's just not gonna happen. You know, so just take it for what it is. But my thing has always been, you know, that doesn't mean that you can't still assess the music and give your opinion on it.
People have to be hungry, or need to prove a point. Like, when people were saying Nas was kind of missing the boat here and there. Yeah. When Jay-Z dissed him, it gave him new life. That was the best thing that could have happened in Nas's career, because once that happened, Nas was a whole different beast. Right. You know what I'm saying? He came out, okay, I got to give you that same energy that I gave you a long time ago. Yeah. So that y'all can't keep denying me what I know I can do. Yeah. So unless that happens with a lot of these, even with J. Cole's last project, J. Cole had to prove that I really do this.
He said it.
I can rap. I can really do this. So y'all gonna have to listen to me and give me my respect or move on. Yeah. Who else? Somebody else did that here recently. But the list goes on. When you have something to prove, or somebody's poked the bear per se, then they have that extra incentive to prove what they have to do. Kanye West feels like he doesn't have to prove anything else to you.
Facts.
So he's experimental. He's going to do whatever he decides he wants to do until somebody pokes the bear. And Drake isn't poking the bear when we talk about them kind of beefing or going back and forth. He's not doing it to the point where somebody like Kanye, who came from a hip hop based upbringing, he's not poking him the way that he needs to be agitated in order to bring back that new or old Kanye.
You know, it would be nasty though if once Kanye finally puts out Donda, Drake's just sitting there waiting to press the button on Certified Lover Boy.
Well, I heard that they're actually cool again.
That's
okay,
tough.
all right. Well, yeah.
Now that right there,
I heard they're cool again, because they were actually playing with the fact that he might release it last Friday.
Okay,
and some came out like Drake was giving him a chance to breathe and let his project do what it needed to do, because evidently they must be cool again.
Hey, Drake giving Kanye a chance to breathe. The game is completely different.
I'll say this. I want to say this really quick. Too.
Yes, sir.
Like, I feel like if we like an artist and we feel like they've fallen off and we don't like them anymore or whatever they become, there are plenty of artists out there that are giving us what.
Right. Yeah.
And, like, I don't think Kanye's ever going to be the Kanye that I enjoyed, which is fine. Whatever. It does annoy me that he's getting so much praise all the time, even before stuff drops. But aside from that, like, there are tons of really great artists that even I'm guilty of not giving the energy that I should. Yeah. And
we were talking about, before we came on, we were talking about Vince Staples. Good project. I listened to it yesterday. It's a good project. So it's out there, like, and it's one of those things where we have a connection to all the artists that we love, and it's that part's never going to go away.
I mean, like you brought up Common.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, the last album that I vibe with from front to back is Fine and Forever.
Yeah.
Everything after that is like I can take some off of each album and have a decent listening, but
it's kind of like Kanye, really.
That's true.
You can take pieces from each one.
And you know what's
I don't hate every Kanye thing. It's just like
even with the
front to back. It's
even
like,
with Universal Mind Control, I don't hate that whole album.
Right.
There's still some records on there I like.
Terry, it's funny that you said that, because if you think about it, if you go Kanye to if you go College Dropout to My Dark Twisted Fantasy, do you start at Resurrection, or do you start Resurrection to Find It Forever, or do you start at One Day It All Makes Sense? Because those two runs right there, I'm talking about from beginning to end. That's good music, man. High quality, consistent music, top to bottom.
Yeah, you probably
be Find It Forever, One Day It All Makes Sense, like Light Water for Chocolate. These are all phenomenal albums.
And once again, subjective, because like I said, I enjoyed The Dreamer, The Believer until we got to like the Tyga song.
Yeah,
Dreamer, The Believer actually has some joints on that mug.
Yeah, shout out to No ID as well. I think he produced that.
Ghetto Dreams, yeah, talked about that.
All
right, yeah.
So let's
go on.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Again, as always, make sure you follow us on YouTube and search for the New Old Heads Network. Subscribe. Please hit the bell for notifications. And also check us out on Patreon.com/New Old Heads. Follow us on Twitch. We'll continue to bring that product, and we appreciate everybody. Shout out to the chat as well. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
In a minute.
Post show.
See ya.